Alright.
And we're here to annoy Chris as he fights a boss, guys.
Essentially, yes. I'm joined by Kevin and Kyle this time.
Kakashi Ho!
I'm hoping that stays. To go another round with this guy.
Going in for another slugfest.
Hang on,
He's called like the Hero of Storms, right?
Old
Hero.
You're combining two bosses. Tell me if you think his ghost is attacking me.
This fucking ghost is attacking you, because if you look back up there, there's just this fucking statue right there. See?
He does break it too.
He breaks it because he takes the sword out. The sword is the only thing that's real.
I'm not.
I almost feel bad for this guy because you're tricking on. You're messing with a blind man here.
A very pissed, powerful blind man. Yes.
This guy was very easy for me when I played.
Almost fucking one-shot me just then.
I bet you make that like Shemtar thing when you
You could actually make that Shemtar thing.
Oh,
he is fucking you wrong.
Anyway, I think you can make it with like if you use a souls. Not soul.
But I'm not.
This one.
That's the one that gives you extra souls.
That weapon?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because I don't.
Ow! Fuck your.
Oh, he unzipped your back, and now you're like just spine's exposed.
Spinal bifida.
I'm dead.
How did I take care of this guy? Because
he's not all that hard.
I almost killed him in the first go. That's an exaggeration. I wasn't that close, but I had a better run of it.
Like here, I think what I did was
Shit's broke. Don't mind me.
I think what I did was it's like I ran up, hit him, backed up.
Maybe I should use my magic. After all, I have 13 fresh spice. I had a moment. Had a terrifying moment just now.
Chris went dip. Bye patches.
That's not patches.
Not patches. Who is it?
Grave Robber Blige.
Patches. Nobody.
Patches clone.
Yeah, that's kind of what he reminds me of. Just a second.
Patches is in this.
He's Patches.
Yeah, Unbreakable Patches. We get it.
No, but Patches the Hyena is what his title is in this.
The Unbreakable Patches. Got it.
Did you know Patches is in Bloodborne also?
He's the spider.
Yeah. Spoiler alert for anyone who's still playing Bloodborne.
I mean...
Nope.
I gotta say...
Reaper no reaping.
I gotta say, Patches...
Swiper no swiper.
...is one of my favorite characters.
Lovable asshole.
He quickly becomes one of your favorite characters when you learn more about him.
That's kind of why he's one of my favorites.
And he's like the devil in the details, you know what I mean? He's got so much shit about him that you probably wouldn't...
No! Well, our enthusiasm, or my enthusiasm, someone's enthusiasm, broke the speakers, essentially. Well, not broke, but, like, made it, like, busted out the speakers, essentially. So now, unfortunately, I'm forced to provide, by myself, audio for the rest of the playthrough in post. And I don't remember what we said or what we were talking about. It's weird, because, honestly, I'm, like, at a loss for words, what to actually say. I've never actually done, like, post-audio, commentary. And even though we just did this, I don't remember quite what was said, so it's not like I can, like, you know, retell you what everybody had said. But I'll do my best anyway to, like, you know, recap what I know was said. for example, this particular part, Kyle was talking about his limited exposure to demon souls. And he was also telling me not to shoot these things because it wasn't worth my time. Kyle has probably played Demon Souls maybe twice and then stopped. And it definitely wasn't worth my time. I've killed these things with arrows in previous playthroughs, like personal playthroughs. I've hit them before. But for some reason, this particular one, I just couldn't hit it. I couldn't hit it. No matter what I tried. So I just gave up. And if I remember correctly, something occurs to me here, saying that I'm gonna do something that I should have been doing from the start. Kevin, being the smart ass he is, says blocking, which is what I'm currently doing. But no, what I realized is I should run from these guys instead of just trying to fight through them all the time. Which I don't know why that's what I've been doing the entire time. Like trying to fight through them. But anyone who does know me, like especially me as a gamer, will know, like, I like to fight things. I like the challenge. I just like... So it definitely gets the better of me, because at a point it feels like I need to. Goodbye, Reaper. But anyway. So that's normally what gets me killed. It's like my compulsion to fight every enemy is a fight within itself, now that I think about it. Don't know how to get down there. I don't know if you can. And Kevin didn't know either. See, this place gets a lot easier once... Basically, like, I shouldn't fight everything. Let's imagine that you get the souls from everything anyway. So making my way down here. And I put a caption in the last video, but I'll just say it anyway. There are drops that I think I have labeled useless down here where the magical slugs are. And I would say I still stand by that, but it's in a different sense that I would call them useless. Because one is the Ronin Ring, which slows weapon degradation. Which, if you're keeping up your weapons, you don't even need to worry about that. The other is the Katana Hiltless, which at this point, like any new weapon really, like in my personal opinion, is almost useless. Almost. Not 100%. If you want the Katana, it's down there. Discussion we had at this point was like pretty much saying we all know he's blind, but how do we know he's blind? Yeah, granted his eyes are covered and he kind of acts like he can't see you, but how do we actually know for sure, you know, other than like those visuals? Which we don't really have an answer for. Later on you'll see me check the description from his boss soul. Kinda hoped that it said it there, but it doesn't. Now, I don't think this guy is particularly weak against magic or fire or anything like that. I don't 100% know that, but the reason why I point it out is because as far as sticky white stuff and the pine resin and all that's concerned, generally speaking, I don't use them outside boss fights. So, you know, it's like I might as well use it anyway, just for the little extra damage it can cause. I don't know if that move can, like, hurt you at a range when the dust cloud comes up, like, in a straight line. I don't really want to test that. Well, actually, I can't test that now, but I don't think it does. And defeated is the monster. I do like the name of his soul. Like the boss's name is the old hero? Oh, look. Look who fell down here. The Reaper from earlier. But anyway. The soul is called Hero Demon's Soul. And this is when I look at the boss soul. To like... And I still had the mixed demon soul, which Kyle was like, what the hell is that? And I'm basically explaining to him that it's the gargoyle snake chimera thing called the Man-Eater. And for some reason, at this point, Kevin decided to describe Fire Emblem to me, which I thought was a little interesting, which is why I kind of like kept it paused, like for a little bit. But considering you can't hear it, it was kind of pointless to do that now. Now, something I'm gonna point out for later. I had a video with this problem. I had a problem with this video too. I made a mistake. You see, ordinarily, when I record a video, I've started to do this recently. So ordinarily, I record a video, I finalize it, I edit it, whatever, put it together, and then I get rid of the source material that I no longer need, like the raw footage and the raw audio, because it saves me on room if I do that. Between the last video and this video, I forgot to do that. So I do run out of space, but not until the end. This guy I touched on, he's the miracle version of Sage Frake. Sage Frake gives you powerful magic in exchange for boss souls. This guy gives you powerful miracles in exchange for boss souls. I have no idea what the fuck we were talking about at this point. It's just like sitting on the screen for a while. But I do end up getting the miracle second chance. And second chance is something I touched on in a previous video before, where essentially it's like essentially it is a spell or a miracle that brings you back to life once. but it's immediate. So let's just say, hypothetically, you're standing there,
God bless this
And-
Britain, but
you're fighting a boss, and you have, like, no health, like, very little health, and the boss hits you. You would go down to 0 health, and then back up to however amount the spell gives you, or the miracle gives you. And then so long as that attack didn't make you, like, fall over or something, it would be as if you could have withstood that attack. So you won't really flinch. Unless you got knocked down.
thank I was what.
It's occurring to me, I don't know why I asked you guys, like, if it's annoying that I explain things. Because that, you know what? That's just, like, part of my personality. I explain things to death. So I probably would have ended up explaining things to a tedium anyway. And as you just saw, I actually got the katana hitless.
We are
Between the start of this video and the ending of the last, I decided, like, I fell into that pool of light just outside it, just outside the boss room. So I decided to explore it. That's how I knew that those things were there. Now, you can come across pretty much every character in these loading screens in some capacity. It just, some of them are, like, specific to tendency, like white or dark. Excuse me, that yawn came out of nowhere. Black or white tendency, specific. I do remember Kyle basically saying he forgot how gross this place was. Where the textures of gray look brown. Or something to that effect. Where black looks gray. Well, regardless. Essentially, this place, you know what, I keep saying it, but it is Proto Blighttown. And if you've never played Dark Souls, that's not gonna make a whole lot of sense. But the thing with Blighttown in Dark Souls is that essentially it's a shitty camera, and for one, and it covered in poison and shit like that. Something I'm explaining at this point is that the water does poison you, but you can't really tell that poison's building up. Like right now I do have a ring equipped that does increase my poison resistance, but while standing in the water you can't tell that you're about to get poisoned until it happens. These things? I have no idea what they are. And also, as you just seen, like that weird like stumble, that was me trying to roll. You cannot roll in this sludge. Now, this particular level, or section I should say, can be pretty straightforward. You really don't need, you really don't need, like, to worry about getting lost, so long as you're following these lights. And there's broken down, like, bridges and stuff that do serve as a pathway of sorts. War Scythe. When I picked that up, Kyle also said, like, apparently some people pronounce it Scythe. And he's like, either those people are correct and a lot of people are dumb, or those people are wrong. I think that broken sword is a trick to get you out into the poison. Then we come across this red phantom, who I probably should have used a different strategy when fighting, especially initially. But I just basically tried to what would be the phrase? To withstand and then counterattack. Which kind of worked to a degree. But my problem was I accidentally two-handed again and put my shield away. So the Phantom was able to land a lethal hit. Not to mention that I was also slowly getting poisoned to death, so that didn't help. But I'm not terribly worried about poison. Poison doesn't kill you nearly as fast as plague. The way I described it, because Kevin thought that Black Phantom got poisoned, when in actuality it was just bleed damage. I basically called bleed Poison 1, Poison 2, and Plague Poison 3. Now, essentially, the only reason why I say that is because all three of those things are just damage over time. And bleed does the least damage of all of them. Like, over time, and then poison, and then plague is the worst. And I don't know if this area is, like, more poisonier, or what have you. But it definitely looks horrendous. Excuse me. I don't know if this Black Phantom kills me twice. I don't remember. I would say this is the biggest issue with this particular area. If you go off the beaten path, there's a chance you won't even know where your lost souls went if you can't see them in the muck. Yeah, it kills me twice. I think their attacks also do, I don't want to say shave damage, but it looks like shave damage. And I mentioned it earlier, all those characters in the loading screen, you can come across in game. And the issue I have with them, or most of them I should say, is that I don't know. I basically don't know where most of them are. Like, I would say out of all of the Souls series, Soulsborne if you want to say that, and Demon Souls is the one I know the least about. I know enough to play the game, and the game actually tells you the story, but apart from that, like, there's not a whole lot of information I can provide. Like what tendency to do what. And like where all the items are. However, we did actually start talking about another game as well, being Kingsfield. Now, Kingsfield would basically be before this. This would be a spiritual successor to Kingsfield. And they're both made by Fromsoftware. And I don't know how many Kingsfield games there are, but there's multiple from what I hear. I thought there was one, but I guess I'm wrong. But it is a it is a first-person dungeon crawler. Slow-paced and difficult. Essentially this, but you see through your character's eyes. Now Kyle at this point was looking up online like how much it would be to get it. And I don't think it's worth it. Not at all. It's like $400 for a bundle pack. And I think it's PlayStation? Like just PlayStation? Poop. Shot his heart out. There it is back there in the background burning. That was Kevin's comment. I just forgot I did that. Now, even though I have things to heal poison, generally I don't heal poison until I don't think I'm gonna be poisoned anymore. If that makes any sense. It's like I don't want poison to build back up once I've healed it, if I'm just gonna be poisoned again. So more often than not, I'll opt to just heal the damage that's done once it gets to a certain point. And then just cure myself of poison later. Now I generally do this level in a straight shot. You can explore more. Like there's items to get to the side and whatnot. But generally I'm like, I just don't want to do that. And it's for multiple reasons, because as you can imagine, they don't make it easy. Not by a long shot. Like, there's actually something that I point out at some point. I'll say it now and then bring it up again later. You see a light in the distance of an item, and it's a trap. It's like 3 of these big troll guys surrounding an item that I think turns out to be like crescent moon grass or something. Now, I didn't want this guy following me, so I tried to get around him to attack him, but all he did was knock me off the platform. Once you get knocked off the platform, I don't think you can get back up there. So you might as well trek through the poison at this point. It's kind of a weird thing how the bog-like poison works. Or just like the bog-like water. That trap, by the way, is like over there. It's not that one, but it's in that direction. I think you can actually see, yeah, like that second one in the background. I believe that's it. But anyway. It's like, You're walking, like, running turns into, like, your fast walking speed while you're in this boggy water. And then you're even slower. Like, when normally walking. So it's just a mess. More mosquitoes. Which, for some reason, I tried to just hit with my weapon. Damn. Oh, okay. Using spice. I was wondering what I was doing. Now, Kevin cleared up something for me. While I was here. Remember how I was talking about the Moonlight Greatsword? Well, you don't get it from these slugs, but they definitely play a part in it. Okay. I'm gonna look up in a moment. The Moonlight Greatsword is in that slug mass, and you gotta knock it down. I thought it was a tendency thing, where it would be cleared. When in actuality, it's not. You just gotta get up there and knock them all down. Unfortunately, I am not going to do that. And the reason is this. One, I'm content with the weapon I have, despite the greatsword being actually a great sword. And I'm not saying that like big weapon, I mean like it's a great weapon. 100% magic damage, light as hell, two-handed, big weapon. There's almost no downside. But almost doesn't mean there isn't any. The downside being that even though a lot of enemies are affected by magic, and it will do a lot of damage to them, that doesn't mean all of them are. More specifically, the endgame boss. I've mentioned him before, but the endgame boss is King Alant. He is not very affected by magic. Almost not at all. For example, Kevin is relaying a story about how most bosses, when he fights them, were pretty affected by magic. And it's pretty effective up until you get to the endgame boss, where he only does 6 damage to him. So he needed a new weapon. Now, at first I wasn't sure why this guy was glowing. I had forgotten. But for all intents and purposes, this guy is a normal troll. And I'm calling them trolls. I don't know what they technically are as far as Demon Souls is concerned. But they look like the trolls from Berserk, so I'm gonna call them trolls. That being said, the reason why it is glowing is because those glowing trolls can actually do like a poison mist. But apart from that, they're normal trolls. Anyway, in this section, this short section, there's the filthy woman. Yeah, filthy woman. I could have bought black turpentine from her, but I didn't think I needed it.
Finished already.
We also mentioned the filthy old man. Or the dirty old man in Stonefang Tunnel at this point. I forget why we talked about him, but we did. I'm basically making prep work for the boss at this point. We're not that close, but close enough. I made this comment before when I was in I'm trying to remember the name of the place. With the Shrine of Storms, I think. Where I was like, if it looks like I'm rushing, it's because I don't like being here. And that's essentially the same thing here. And the reason I really don't like being here is because it's like, the camera's glitchy and it's annoying, and that glitched out. That poison mist that you see those guys spray, even though it dissipates and you can't see it anymore, it still lingers for like 5 more seconds, even if you can't see it at all. So that's fun. Camera angles suck. Clipping through everything, it just becomes quite a mess. Okay. Now, sorry, my eyes. Wiping my eyes. Anyway. Now, like I said earlier, I'm kind of rushing through this place. Because I really just don't want to be here. So I'm essentially making a beeline to the boss and picking up any, like, quick items I see. Now here's where the boss is. And it's not anything special. Like, it doesn't even get a cutscene. It's called the Dirty Colossus. And it's a pretty accurate title. You see, it's just an amalgamation of wood and infestation. Pretty affected by fire, so hence black turpentine that I'm using. Now, while we were doing this, we actually made the joke that Dirty Colossus sounds gross and sexual. Kyle said it was like a porn name. Or a porn video. I said it should be called My Dirty Colossus. Which is a gross thought. So you are welcome for that. But anyway. You get to this point, boss soul, and leave. I don't believe I do anything else at this point. I think all I do is cosmetic things, like repair weapons and armor, and all that fun stuff. Kevin did start a discussion, but since I don't remember what he said, and I don't have the audio anymore, I'm actually gonna cut it off, like a real hard cut, actually. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you.